This is The Lowdown with Bravemumma, a community to hear you, see you, and support you while you are on your journey living with pelvic organ prolapse. Hi, my name is Steph Thompson and I am your host. I am also a fellow mama who has lived with prolapse for over 7 years. When I was first diagnosed, I thought, I am going to fix this. And I feel like every day since then, I've tried my very best. So in today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you something that I tried and tested in consultation with my doctor just to see if the symptoms of prolapse could be alleviated. I'm going to tell you what I did, how I did it, and the results. So there's so much to cover. Let's just get straight in. So the backstory goes like this. We were going away on holidays during that Christmas period time, and I knew that my period was due. I don't have an issue having my period on holidays because I have multi-body underpants and swimwear. That wasn't it. It was more so that, when you can kind of mentally track the symptoms of prolapse and they become significantly worse around that time of month. I think I've seen it. It's commonly spoken about within our prolapse spaces that for women who are still menstruating, our symptoms of prolapse are definitely felt just before and just after your period. So I thought to myself, I wonder if the symptoms would subside or go away if I didn't have a period at all. So this is exactly was my thought process. I had a consultation with my GP and I talked him through my thoughts and my hypotheses on what could possibly happen and could he guide me medically on all of the risks or benefits of being on the contraceptive pill long term without having a period. Now, just as a caveat, I had done this before in the past when it was necessary during chemotherapy. So I knew it could be done. I had been told back then that it doesn't do any damage to your body, but I also wanted to know from my GP if anything had changed in that 10 years. So he went away and did his research, and then we came back and he said, okay, so for me specifically, I wasn't able to go on the pill that has the estrogen and the progesterone, I can never say that, because of some desmoid tumors that I had during my second birth, which means that I couldn't have the pill with estrogen in it. He could only recommend for me the mini pill. And I started taking it and he did say, it has to be taken specifically at this time, otherwise you could have a breakthrough bleed. Right, got it. So I set the clock on my timer every day. I took the pill from October leading up to December, thinking if I didn't have my period in December, then potentially I wouldn't have the symptoms of prolapse being more significant around that time of month, like being in more pain and noticing it more. So interestingly, in November, I got my period at the right time when it was supposed to come, and then it stopped. But then about 3 days later, I got my period again, and it was exactly the same symptoms as if I was having a normal period. And then I didn't get my period. And then early December, I got my period again. So these weren't just like little spotting breakthrough bleeds. They were full 2 to 3 days, heavy symptoms of prolapse, heavy period as normal. So then I decided to reach out to him again and say, look, I don't think this is actually being any benefit to me. What can I do right now? The suggestion was to go off it for a week and then to go back on it again. Now, there was something in me, in my gut feeling that said that probably it wasn't worth it. So I just wanted to share with you because I know we talked about it in one of our newsletters to our email group that I was trialing this, taking the pill to try and stop my period, to try and stop my symptoms. And I just want to let you know, for me personally, it didn't work. The breakthrough bleeds were worse than having a period, and the symptoms were felt more often and worse than when they're not. So the advice was to stop altogether, which I have done, and I'm no longer using the contraceptive pill to try and help with my prolapse symptoms. So I would have loved to been able to share with you that it was helpful and really successful, but for me, it just wasn't. For you, it might be a different story. But here's the plot twist that you probably weren't expecting. because I certainly wasn't expecting it at all, and it took me by surprise. On this family trip, I already knew that there would be a significant amount of walking involved in this trip. Now, for any of us with prolapse, we know that walking a few hundred meters can make everything feel really heavy and painful. I can't really put my finger on which part of this trip triggered a massive mindset shift for me. I thought of all the practical things, like all that masculine energy of, oh, it must have been because I was wearing snow boots and they're really thick. It must have been because we were on carpeted ground most of the time and it was really soft, or snow and it was soft. It must have been because the clothes I was wearing were really supportive. It must have been because we walked a short distance and then we'd always sit in a cafe and then we'd walk a short distance and sit in the cafe. It must have been because I wasn't doing all of the housework and the lifting and the things that I was doing at home. All of that, it could be a real genuine possibility that all of those things as a collective led to me not noticing my prolapse symptoms as much when I was on holidays. I have put this question to our private Facebook group as well, because I know that I have read some women say when they are out of their home and their usual space, they do feel different with their prolapse. And that to me is headachingly mind-blowing, because I think surely it's not all in my head, and we know it's not. But surely I see myself as a strong person and I can think through things and I can think positively all the time. But is it really all in my mind, the level that it affects me? It's a question that I haven't yet quite answered. I am getting support with this currently right now because it plays on my mind that, oh, how much control do I actually have? How can I be from this space to this space and feel very different but physically be the same? If any of this is resonating for you right now and you have kind of had this journey, please reach out to me. I would love to talk to you. And if you were open to it, talking here in front of our audience, because I know I'm curious to find out if there is a link and what it could be, and how I can then share that with you. So yeah, if you've had experience with this and you would like to talk about it, please let me know. The email is stephanie@bravemumma.com. And just to wrap up, I just want to say a really special thank you, because when I posted this question when I was trialing this, I got a huge email response, probably one of our biggest responses, from people who were curious to know the answers and some people who were cautious of using the pill in this way. But I just wanted to let you know, everyone here, your opinion matters and it's valued, and I thank you so much. And until next time, bye for now.
Mommy.